Hey, this is Jeremy Roenick, and you're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach, this is Missin Curfew. And before the boys start snapping it around, D to D, low and slow, this show is always presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Obes, the up dog, our boy Swishy Swish. Fellas, how we doing? Couple more days removed from the gold medal here. Safe to say that finally some of these boys on Team USA are finally hung cheese. Hey, the old saying, Swishy and up dog. Going to be hungover, but ain't going to be today. But I think finally they're hung. They're finally hung.
Oh, they got a little case of the up dogs in them, you know. Went 3 or 4 straight, and you just got to get up and get to it. Yesterday was the first day back of NHL hockey. I got to witness. I went to a hockey game, saw the Oilers play the Ducks in a 7-6 shootout, and didn't seem like jet lag was part of the program. High pace, goalies were standing on their head. They actually scored a goal in the first. It was Rasmussen or
Roslovic.
Roslovic.
Low blocker. What a shot there by Dostal over just
13
over his
seconds in.
I know I had the over.
I went Beckham. Look at breakaway. Boom, score. I'm like, wow, that's how you start off a game. So, anyways, it's nice to get back. Nice to see some hockey again on TV. But back in the swing of things, fellas, it's exciting. Let's put the gold medal game behind us, and we can focus on the stretch run here, fellas.
Isn't it funny too that you can kind of gauge a little bit of who was going hard and maybe who was, is still celebrating, but I feel like, Amat's 34 went full tilt, full time. He was a little stung last night in that game, and rightfully so. I mean, the runner that they've been on just travel alone, and then you mix in no sleep. He deserves it as a captain because he played it amazing in that game, but Obi, you even look over to Utah. I mean, Kells played almost 23 minutes last night, and he was buzzing like a no vacancy sign. So kind of, I think it was a case by case thing, but it's good to have the National League back, fellas, and on at normal times over here. I'm fired up for this run.
Yeah, you could see in the games last night a lot of energy, some sloppy hockey, as the up dog said there at the intermission. I will say this, I give a lot of guys credit I give Drew Doughty credit for playing last night. Like, just a seasoned vet, you think like. You might say to, the management and your coach there, hey, fella, I need a night off. He played. Matthews, to me, because they play again tonight, we're recording on Thursday in South Florida, I thought they were, I hammered the Lightning. I thought they were in tough heading into that one anyways. To me, boys, I would have said to Matthews, take tonight off. Get ready to go down and beat Florida because Chucky's still going. Chucky was at Berube yesterday still with his gold medal. So you got to think Florida might come out a little sluggish. Marchand, Bennett, right? They've probably been drinking a couple days, just enjoying the sun. I give Matthews a lot of credit, boys, but looking at that game, he looked very, very tired to me.
Being the pro that both Matty Tkachuk is and Paul Maurice, would he have got that morning off yesterday of any sort of practice or put the skates on or whatever, or is it just full-on 3-day bender?
I will tell you this. I have seen a clip of Chucky at the Elbow Room before I've seen him on the ice.
Yeah.
He was there. They were singing the national anthem at the Elbow Room.
I saw that.
Which I thought was yesterday, but that could have been after practice, Swishy, but he's still enjoying the victory lap as he should.
Yeah, if I were a betting man, I don't think he's put on the boots yet. I think he was just, you get some rest.
Rest is okay.
Even after that State of the Union, he went on Fox News and they probably took the bird back to South Florida. Then I think he probably, I don't want to speak for him, but looked like he just had woke up and slid right over to the Elbow Room. That guy's run he's on, man. I mean, unbelievable. All he does is win.
You teed me right up, bro. So I finally fired him a text. I fired him and Brady a text the day after the game, and they got back to me a couple days later. And then I finally fired him a text and just said, dude, you're killing it, bro. You're absolutely. I go the runner you're on right now, you're just gonna permanently smell like champagne, bro. Like you're just your clothes or your skin forever is just gonna smell like champagne, beer, and whatever you're dipping, Zins or whatever, Muskokas or whatever they're called.
Yeah, it's been incredible. It's been so fun to watch and such a good those two bulls are just such good representatives of USA hockey. Obviously, the bloodlines are there, but it seems like they're always at the forefront of, their teams. I mean, clearly Brady being the captain in Ottawa, but Matty Tkachuk, it's like he's the spokesperson of not only that team in South Florida, but for USA Hockey. He's all around. He's doing the media tours. He's got his podcast, and he does such a good job of representing what USA Hockey is about, and he's so proud to be a USA member.
Yeah.
I guess so. When you sit with Sean Handler and, is it Hannity? Sorry. When you sit with Sean Hannity and you just throw the medal on him and, I'll get that back after. I know that. But you're just full on diving into, this is just epic. It's an epic run.
Yeah. And you know what? You Updog, I want to ask you about McDavid, but you're so right about, both Matty and Jack Hughes. Like in the course of the last, whatever you want to call it, 48, 72 hours, I don't know what it's fucking been. Not a huge math guy here, but they have answered every question. They've done every show. Like, I'm trying to think if Canada, had won that, would have they, obviously it wouldn't have been the same in this country, but I'm talking about back home. Where I'm going with this is they've done every show, everything. Like they've held up their part.
I would say what's next would be, calling our boy Ben Silverman and saying, hey, you got to grab Jack Hughes right now and do a full on, show around this kid.
It's funny. I was swimming the other day and I thought about reaching out to Kevin Connolly and Doug Ellen being like, hey, but Silverman might be, I'm like, let's get ahead of
a little entourage.
Let's get ahead of this. Let's get a fucking, but Benny might be the guy with Netflix, right?
Is there a better character right now for the game than, what Jack Hughes has done for the hockey and just a swag off the ice? I mean, Tate McRae, that was going on before the Olympics, which is just iconic itself. But, you put hockey on the map, and I'd like to throw this show under the bus. The one with the two guys that were naked and going at it in the shower all the time on HBO. That's a little much. But right now you have a chance to elevate hockey and the personalities behind it because of a iconic gold medal game. And because these kids are the right kids to surround themselves with high quality entertainment.
Yeah. I just think there's a doc series coming, either if it's Benny Silverman or somebody. I'm sure they've already got offers coming. I mean, Jack Hughes right now, I mean, I can't imagine, what his DMs are like, swishy, and just the opportunity he's going to have the next. I mean, when he grabbed that microphone last night at the Prudential Center there and went out there and did a speech and brought out Tage Thompson, I was like, this kid just, he can't miss. He got the golden goal, and ever since then, he just can't miss.
I've always said it, Obi. I wasn't the first guy to ever say it, but someone told me smarter than me a long time ago. Yesterday's price ain't today's, baby, and it's not going to be tomorrow's with Jack Hughes. His stock is only going up. I mean, just the follow count, the buzz he has around. And I just thought that was such a thoughtful move from him yesterday at the Prudential Center to grab Tage Thompson in real time. I mean, that just shows you just a good dude.
Yeah, he's absolutely killing it. Updog, you obviously went to morning skate there. I saw a picture with you and Beckham and Draisaitl and McDavid. How's McDavid? How is he doing? Or how was his body language?
No, he was good. He looked tired a bit, like fucking frazzled all day. He said, I went back to Edmonton. So he went back to Edmonton and
private burger. Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, don't quote me on that, but he went back to Edmonton first.
Okay. Don't quote him on that, but
because they were here for 2 days, they're staying down at the Pendry. They're doing it right. They came in a couple days early and get some vitamin D, which is important.
Shout out to Eagle 4 Partners, staying at the Pendry.
Exactly.
Good bar there.
Listen, when I said, introduced him to Beckham got all shy, which is funny because it's the only hockey player he knows. He knows McDavid and he knows Ovechkin. And going into this, I had texted Connor and Leon, a month ago or so, and just said, hey, your first game back's down here in Anaheim. Love to come in and introduce you to my boy, and it'd be pretty cool for him to take a picture with you guys. So, and they were all about it. I didn't know whether or not, that offer still stood on the table.
Yeah.
And it, when I texted him the other day, he said, absolutely, bring him in. I looked at him, I said, I don't even know what to do, man. I just give you a hug.
Yeah.
Like, right. And I gave him a hug and I just said, it was an epic, experience as a Canadian watching you guys do what you did. And, I know what you must be feeling, but it's nice to be back and you get to battle with your boys again, was kind of the message I said to him. And he just said, man, we outplayed them and we did everything we could. We just couldn't score.
Yeah.
And, hear him say that with confidence is exactly what the game was.
You probably want to say, fuck, if McKenna would have buried that one, I'd have a gold medal here.
Well, no, and he knows the game is a one-game series is exactly that.
Yeah.
You run into a goalie that plays like, old school fucking Patty Waugh back in the day, and you're not getting won by him. They know that their effort was there. They know it's a tough defeat. And just watching Connor in pregame skate, boys, he was back to business, dude. He was flying around. He was working on the power play with the guys, and it was nice to be in the rink. Yeah, I saw Koff. Nice to see him back behind the bench. You could tell the players were happy to have Paul Coffey back.
Yeah.
But being in the barn, boys, I was a rink rat. I loved going to fucking see the guys skate around. I loved practice. It was nice to get in there, and NHL's back. So
you're like in the team text up dogs. Like, yeah, I was talking to Bobby Stafford there. He said Bouchard should have been on the team. Literally that next period, he's just standing in front of the fucking net with his guy with a wide 4x6. This guy just goes, boom, and Bouchard is standing there right like this swishy. I'm just like, that is why he didn't make team. If Evan Bouchard was 70% reliable in his own end instead of fucking 30, he would have made Team Canada swishy.
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret what he can do on the offensive side, but yeah, sometimes he just gets, I don't know, lackadaisical or lost in the D zone. And
lackadaisical is great word. And swishy, as a defenseman, right when you get in that fucking, what do you want to call it, right in front of the net,
home plate,
home plate. Great, yeah, that's what it's called. You got to fucking stick on puck and be aware. He's standing there looking at the up dog.
Yeah,
I don't know who he's looking at.
I mean, a lot of times it sticks in the air too.
Yeah, there's a few bad habits there. I guess to Bob's point,
there's a lot of bad habits.
Was that Connor could have had his puck moving D-man that put it right on his tape all the time, and then McCarr could have been McKinnon's guy that put it on his tape all the time, and you had two dynamic D to forwards offensively. And that's just, obviously they need to score a few more goals to score, to win that game. And that was kind of what they missed. And to Stauffer's point, it was back to what you said last week, Obes. It was, I want to have a GM that has no skin in the game and no player to take. And it was kind of like a shot saying maybe Parayko wasn't the right guy when you need to score more goals than the other team.
For sure. And it would have been nice to have the old Boosh bomb and Coop's back pocket on the bench there, right? Like, I'm not disagreeing with that. I just, pretty fast hockey. Yeah. And I always put
him out there with like Harley or someone and a reliable, D that he has at home with. And who knows? It could have been.
I'm okay with
secret.
Was Parayko on my team? Maybe. I don't know. But the one Sanheim.
Oh.
Why?
Yeah.
What has he done?
Yeah.
I mean, Parayko's won a mug, and this is no disrespect to Sanheim. I don't know him. I mean, I'm sure he's going to go on and have it. He's a great defenseman in the NHL for the Flyers, but he's on a rebuilding team. He's never played in the playoffs. He played the Four Nations, but I'm like, looking back at the team, I'm like, why? I wonder if I could ask Army one thing, not that Army gives a fuck, I would be like, why Sanheim?
Yeah, especially if one of your top guys goes out, which happened. If a bigger guy goes out, you just kind of go, okay, my smaller guy's got to play bigger hockey. When a big guy, when one of your top two skilled guys goes out, then you go, fuck, who's gonna be the third, fourth guy carrying the offense, from our back end when we have so many offensive forwards and we just need to get the puck in their hands, Obes.
Mm-hmm.
It made a lot of sense, but to lose Morrissey early, first fucking period of the tournament, that was whoops. Now what do we do?
Yeah, I mean, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Hindsight's 2020, right? Even you can throw names like Schaefer or Chikrin in there too. I mean, Chikrin's had a hell of a season. He's a puck mover. He's a guy that can play on the power play. He's solid defensively, and then you got the young kid, the young gunna, Matthew Schaefer. There's two names right there, but you know what? It's a game of inches. Yeah. If they win that game, we're not even talking about this.
No, but I talked about it leading into the tournament, and I'm another kid that I played with Theo. I love Theo. He had 2 points in 6 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. I thought there could have been more from him too. And listen, we outplayed them, but when you lose up dog, and it is Team Canada, you look at certain things that like where could have we been better. And the one thing to me is Sanheim, and I thought Theodore could have been a little better than he was.
Yeah,
but I mean, you go down here, Doughty. Doughty was solid, but I mean, you can question anything. The one thing before we move on here, just about McDavid, and I still to this day think he's going to win. I thought he won the OHL championship with Erie. I kind of assumed. He didn't. He lost in the OHL Cup final, which is like midget, where he played like Markham Waxers, wherever. He lost that in the final. He lost the OHL in the final. He's lost 2 Stanley Cups in the final, and he's lost a gold medal game. Like, he's got to be thinking maybe
he's got to have some tough skin, boys, and I think he does. because that's not easy.
That's crazy, man.
That's separating you from complete like life-changing moments to being like, fuck, I gotta dig and do something different or more.
And just let me make myself clear to the fellas out there and you boys. I'm not saying it's Connor McDavid's fault that he lost those 4 because it ain't. Without him in Edmonton, they don't even get to the final, and I'm sure wherever else. But if you're just sitting back and you're him and you're chilling in your mansion in Edmonton and you're like, holy fuck, man, like I had never won anything really, but he won the 4 Nations. Where you got that goal. You know what I'm saying, though, Swishy?
100%. It almost gives like it almost has like shades or feels of like the Boston Red Sox curse of the great Bambino when they traded with the Yankees and they couldn't get it done, and then all of a sudden in 2004 it takes a come from behind 3-0 down 3-0 to win a series against the Yankees and eventually win the series. It's like, I don't know, what more can this guy do? I mean, and how much more can he take mentally?
I go back to the interview where you got to sit with Gretzky. This is maybe 5-6 years ago, and Gretz, sat and they're face to face, and they talk about greatness. And Gretz said, you will win multiple champions. You will win one, and you will win multiple ones. You are too good to not do it. You are too good to not hoist the Stanley Cup and to carry a group of guys to to that ultimate goal. And my belief in knowing Connor and seeing the way he plays and watching him just yesterday, just coming back from this, I have no question that he is strong enough, tough enough, mentally tough enough that he can get himself and the team to a place of greatness. And it's just going to take a little bit longer. The Olympics is a stingy one because it's only every 4 years. So this one's going to sting maybe a little bit more than even back-to-back finals, because he has a chance to go at it again, boys, with his group. But it just is really, really, really tough to watch, knowing that you get so close.
Yeah, it's just, listen, he won the under-18, he won the World Juniors, he's won a World Championship, and he's won the 4 Nations face-off. So it's not like he's got nothing on his mantle. But Swish, you kind of picked up where I was going, brother, like a curse. Like, is he almost like, fuck, man, what do I have to do? Like, he's so dedicated to his game. He never says a bad thing. He takes a pay cut in Edmonton and leaves fucking $8 million or $6, $7, $8 million on the table. Teammates love him. Like, he answers the media every day in Edmonton. And like, I'm just wondering if he's like, hey, hockey gods, how about a fucking bounce here, boys? Like, I get it. All right, uncle here. I'm come on here. It's my time.
Yeah, I mean, does he have to pull LeBron James where he has to leave for a few years, go win some championships, and then go back to the city of Edmonton and then win for them? Something like that? I don't know.
Dude, I thought about that ups too. Switch. I'm like, maybe what if he would have just left now, went and won one, got the pressure off, and then came back to Edmonton in a couple of years when maybe they got their shit sorted out a little bit more, right? Like, okay, Connor, you go win your cup in Chicago or LA or where, I don't know, wherever. And because that's what LeBron did. And I'm not a huge LeBron guy, but he went out, got his championships, came back, won it for his town.
This is what the deal, that's the deal he took. He took the 2-year deal for that exact reason, I think. If this shit doesn't pan out, you ask our boy Loops, he'd say we're crazy to say it. But like, if it doesn't pan out this year, like, he has an option to sit at the table and go, guys, you need to rebuild here if you ever want to win. And I would come back. Yeah. Like, I'm not speaking for him, but if things don't pan out, he has the option to go anywhere at 12, what is it, 12.5 million?
You said that from day one when you signed it. You also said, it makes it easier for him to go to new places.
And for them to rebuild, to get him another opportunity in 3 or 4 years to come back.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's, going to like life elsewhere, he probably will. But, his main goal since he started playing for the Edmonton Oilers and that organization and that fan base was to win there. And this still gives him the best opportunity. I think both sides.
The thing he's not from there. He's from Richmond Hill, Ontario. He grew up a fucking Leafs fan, and they haven't won the cup since '67. Is there a part of him maybe he's that like, maybe I'll just go sign in Toronto here, win one here, like, because Cleveland was LeBron's home is where I'm going with this, right? I give McDavid a ton of credit that being first overall the Oilers, he wants to win one that bad there. Like, I got to give him a ton of credit, man.
I mean, you saw the Players Tribune article.
Yeah.
That is his home, man. He wants nothing more. Like, he can't even put into words the fire and the drive and the burning will he has to win in Edmonton. It would honestly shock me if he were to leave there.
Yeah.
I mean, just with everything, that he's tried, and I think it would have to really regress, and you would have to see no light of the day. I mean, he's got his boy there, his best man in Leon Draisaitl. It's that article to me before they released it, just reassured everything that how much that guy fucking cares about the city of Edmonton. Like he's ingrained into it.
Yeah, since we started this podcast, I've been leading the charge that Connor McDavid's going to leave. I was leading it more than anyone. I thought Draisaitl was leaving too. I'm like, they're both leaving. Fucking Draisaitl's coming to L.A. McDavid's going to go to Chi-Town. What he did with the contract he took, I will never question his dedication to the city of Edmonton again. But fucking get it across the line for the poor bastard. I mean, the guy deserves it. Connor, keep your head up. Class act. Let the up dog down there. You get in the room and go on the whiteboard and say, hey, by the way, Lazar, for fuck's sakes, you go here and your forecheck.
No, by the way, Knobloch, he could have used me in there. I would have come in and
You
given him
should've
2 cents. Yeah, get the boys fired up. No, but it was first class. They took care of me. Beckham had his little jersey on.
I saw
Connor signed his jersey. It was great. And just to him and Leon, they're both ultimate pros, and they deserve a Stanley Cup. Both of those guys have given their hearts to that team and play their balls off every night. They're going to win one.
You would think.
They're going to win.
You would think.
They have.
Did you see the way they played defensively last night against the fucking Duckies? Jesus, my
They did know. Connor did say, like, I said, are you playing tonight? He said, yeah, this fucking team over there is good, and this is a big game. I'm like, no, he's a pro, man.
That's the mentality you got to have. So, Connor, go get it, buddy. Oilers fans, you're lucky that guy loves being Oiler that much. So, moving on, a little intro here. For all you wrestling fans out there, Brock Lesnar. I love Brock Lesnar, man. The king of the fucking, what is it, the DDT, or what does he do, the pile driver, swishy, or something? I mean, he's just...
I think he's the pile driver.
I think it's the pile driver. Well, listen, his kid, Duke Lesnar, is playing hockey. If we could somehow pull a picture up of this kid, I had to put more on your plate, fella, but this kid is a unit. He could play on my team any fucking day of the week. I don't even know exactly where he's playing, boys, but he's built like his dad. He's a monster, and I'm going to keep my eye on Duke Lesnar because up, dog, I like a big, healthy, thick,
chiseled.
Well, not even chiseled, but look at him. Here he is.
Notre Dame Hounds.
Is that where he's playing?
Well, it looks like he went through the program at least.
Oh, that is a Notre Dame Hounds.
Look at that. That's a nice
drafted
tarp.
to the.
Is that a nice tarp?
That is a great tarp.
Wow. Got to get one of them.
Drafted to the WHL. I guess I could look this up too here and putting on ices. But I mean, hey, he's an absolute unit, boys. That's right.
His kid, Turk Lesnar, he has 2 kids and they both play. Turk Lesnar too. Pull him up. He's a beauty.
Is he even bigger than Duke? Because Duke, he looks like
he's huge. He's a monster, yeah.
Duke's just got that face shoved in that helmet like an airbag too. It's hilarious.
Yeah, right. I mean,
right in that bird cage. He's a big boy. He ain't missing a night at Old Country Buffet. I'll tell you that. Looks like a unit.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the O'Brien plan. You got to grab the short fork, kid. You got to grab as Troy G Ward would say, grab the short fork.
Yeah, 100%. But he looked like a menace.
He looks like an absolute menace. And boys, I'm going to keep my eye on him. I'm old school WWE guy too. It's everywhere now, by the way. Right? I'm watching fucking ESPN Get Up, and they're like interviewing WWE superstars. I'm like, this is crazy. Hulk Hogan's like
it's entertainment, fellas. It's
rolling
entertainment.
Over. Tell you what's entertainment is those WWE divas. I told my girls, I'm like, listen, let's get you down to Florida, get you in the WWE Diva program, get you flying off the top rope.
Instead of me pile driving all the time, let's get you in there pile driving everyone else.
A little tick for tat, A little tick for tat. Hey, Duke Lesnar, buddy, I'm keeping my eye on you. Get in there, buddy. Play hard. And last but not least here, boys, some sad news around the hockey world. We all love, not only does Missin Curfew love John Cooper, everybody around the NHL, north of the border, back down here in the States, everybody loves John Cooper. And unfortunately, Coop lost his dad, Robert Cooper, right after the gold medal game. And Coop wasn't on the bench last night for the Lightning. But Coop, thinking about you, buddy. We all love you here at Missin Curfew. And the love that he's getting around the league is exactly what Coop deserves. So condolences, my man. And get back behind the bench as soon as you can. We'll be right back. I'm Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Pick 6, fellas. DraftKings' newest fantasy pick'em game. Just choose more or less on 2 or more player stats. The more accurate your picks, fellas, the bigger the payouts. Boys, I was back firing last night. I'm coming off my big my big fucking 32X, 50 to
1,500 to 1.
50 to win 18 hundo. That's called ride the upside there, boys. So, fellas, last night I'm thinking, I'm going to go with guys that hadn't played in the Olympics, right? Fresh, I'm thinking, right? Just some fresh guys.
Off Cabo trip.
Fresh off Cabo. Yeah. I wouldn't have taken me a new updog coming off Olympic break, but anyways, boys, I went 3 for 6. Cooch, which I'm going to get to, was unbelievable. The Breadman in his new LA Kings colors playing with Kempe, which could be a real problem for defensemen around the National League. And then Brayden Point, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Those 3 hit. I thought Ovi coming back would get one. He didn't. I missed Wyatt Johnson and Robertson, who they kicked the shit out of the Kraken, and they didn't. So 3 for 3. But my mindset, Swishy, going in was I'm going to take the rested guys. They've been practicing. They've been getting bagged. They're going to come out, try to get some points, get the break started the right way after the break. Sorry.
Yeah, I had one too last night. I had Clayton Keller over on shots that hit. I just felt like he didn't get maybe the ice time he deserved over there. You can't really argue it. They won, but I just felt like he was going to come back buzzing after Smitty sent that bird. His over on shots hit. Logan Cooley, I thought, would be back in the mix buzzing. Did not hit over. He only had 1 shot. Sean Dursey over half a shot. Brock Besser's hit. Cutter Gauthier did not hit. He only had 3 shots. And then Dewey, I took his under on ice just because I thought the old veteran was not going to play 23 minutes. So I went 4 for 6, but there's a couple that were close, fella. I was tickling it.
Fella, that's good. Good thinking. Did Doughty's under hit? That's good thinking, actually. You think they would just manage his minutes?
Oh, yeah. His over under was at 23 and a hook. I just thought that was way too steep. I think he played 21 minutes.
Yeah. We talked about it up. These guys getting back out. Like Drew Doughty was a prime example of a guy. If I'm the coach, I'm almost like, dude, you're not going tonight. Just fucking stay home. Just go to your mansion in fucking Hermosa Beach and just relax for a night. But he wants to get out there.
There's a few guys you would expect would have, some load management, as Schmaltzy said the other day.
Yeah.
And by rights, they deserve it, or maybe just, by the way they play, their bodies need it. Austin Matthews being one. McDavid last night, the way he was moving in pregame skate, like if he came out and he was a little sluggish or had something going on, he'd probably be taking, like, hey, let's take it easy. But as you know, boys, this is a race to the finish, and a lot of these teams are just kind of poking their heads, or they're right there. You kind of can't afford it. And then, it's more like we'll worry about it if something goes. Like, I'll worry about the car if the fucking tire blows off. I don't know.
I just had to get a new tire. I'm lucky my tire didn't blow off when I was in Palm Springs. I got back, and the valet guy, Big Ken, is
a little low.
He's like, "Oh, do you see this wire here around your tire? That's like an indication that she's about to fucking go." I'm like, dude, I just bombed back from Palm Springs doing about 95, and I took her right into BMW. Like, yeah, you got to get that.
Is that how they tell it?
I never knew that. Did you know if you see the wire, like the
I don't know if I've ever seen tread go right down to the wire.
So it was like a wire around the outside, like the brown looking. Yeah, that's like fucking red flag.
Get her in there.
Yeah. Bet me over for $600 on a new tire.
Yeah, Beamer, they'll shout to you. I got a tire guy for you, though.
You got a tire?
Yeah, I got a tire guy.
You got a tire. Yeah, Swishy, yeah, that was good intel on Doughty, buddy. Listen, Uppy, you talk about the Oilers now are they're still 4 points in, but they're third in the Pacific. The Ducks, leapfrogged them. So, like Connor said, it's a big game against a good team, and ultimately you got to get in there and start snapping around. But I still do believe rest is a weapon. But boys, DraftKings pick 6, ride the upside. All you got to do is hit one, boys, and it keeps you in the game. Moving on here, it is a Kits Eyewear dish of the week. Fellas, it's this easy. Go to kits.com, fire your prescription, virtually try on any frame. Next thing you know, boom, knock on your door. Kits Eyewear, fella. Promo code Curfew. Get your first buy one, get one free, fella. Boys, listen, I had the Lightning last night, even without Coop behind the net, behind the bench, sorry. Kucherov was flying. Point was flying. Roll it here. Watch the play by Brayden Point here. Kind of just he wins the battle right here. Fires it out. Boom, one touch, and Cooch. I mean, it all starts with Point. How do you say his name? Goncalves or whatever. He does a nice job. That was a nice play. Watch as it continues to roll here. Watch Pointer right here. Watch, this is a great. Saucy, little one touch. Booyah. That is our Kits Eyewear dish of the week. Is that not an NHL play? That is all around. Look at that little one touch.
Rolling puck too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got an open net. It was so good. There's two such good passes that he had a wide open Cage.
Yeah. That play was just, that's NHL Swishy. A little saucer, one touch, and Cooch will take care of the rest.
Little tape to tape, 2 passes, find the open guy. Hey, how are you? Kucherov, too. I don't know if you saw those videos Adam Oates was posting. He was on the sheet, it looked like, every day during the break, just working on his game. A lot of those clips he posted, too, he was just out there in his bucket and his skates, sweatpants, just massaging the puck.
Well,
So he looks fresh.
he looked like it. And I'm going to get to Pointer here when I'm dishing out some ice-cold Pristine Pilsners. I'll tell you what, Tampa last night, 2 first-period goals called back on offside, so I'm thinking, fuck, I'm going to get rinsed here, right? Stolar stood his head. They could have beat Toronto. I mean, it could have been 8-1. They had it on a string, and like you said, Kucherov doesn't take any days off, and you could tell him last night he did whatever he wanted, basically. And it was nice to watch. So that was our Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week. Promo code Curfew. Buy a pair, get your second pair free, fellas. Boys, get this guy a Labatt Blue. This segment is brought to you by Labatt. Brewed for the chirps, the rivalries, and the sacred art of trash talking. Labatt. Brewed for the roast. The Pristine Pilsners. Updog, we'll start with you. Then we'll go Swishy. Uppy, who you dishing an ice cold Labatt Blue to, fella?
Fellas, I'm going to dish this to a guy with the best mustache behind the bench in the NHL. Coach Q for the Ducks. Last night I was at the game. It was a shootout game, as you guys know. But Coach Q celebrated with his team in epic fashion on the bench after the game, boys, with his 1,000th win in the NHL. He is the second coach ever to do so. It's such a feat. I mean, I think 1,000 wins, like how much grinding that is, how many optionals you got to give the guys.
Or he gives them tons of those.
How many comeback wins, how many losses that were close, but 1,000 wins in the NHL for a guy that, has given a lot to the game. Stanley Cup, 3-time Stanley Cup champ. He's done it all. Actually, he might even have won one in Colorado back in the day as an assistant, but Coach Q, to see the boys celebrate with you like that, I'm sure after the game you had a couple nice Labatt Blue lights with the fellas. 1,000 wins.
1,000 wins. He's such a beauty, too. The Ducks do a great job with their social media, and he's like, that's a hell of a win there, boy. That's a hell of a comeback. He's like, that was awesome. What a game. That was exciting. Then he gets to the room, and he kind of reiterates the same thing. And then they give him the jacket. He said, all my years, everything you guys give out in the room, I've never gotten this. So thank you, boys. But
pretty awesome.
Whatever Coach Q touches, Swishy, he knows how to get the boys going. And he's good, especially with young, skilled teams like we saw in Chicago. And that's what the Ducks are.
Yeah, I mean, nobody loves winning more than that guy. Just ask him. 1,000 wins, that's crazy. I mean, think about playing 1,000 games as a player, and then, he played 800 as a player, and then he's been coaching in the league for on and off for the last 30-odd years or whatever it's been. That's a lot of matches, man. That's I wonder what you get. Like, a player, 1,000 games, you get the silver wrench, 1,000 points, you get the gold wrench. What do you get for 1,000 wins as a coach? You get a golden whiteboard or something?
Silver stogie. Guy likes his cigars. I'm sure one's wrapped up nicely for him to smoke right after the game there.
Yeah, golden whistle. I don't know what do you give him. What do you give the coach? Here's your golden whistle, fella.
That's actually a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
A little golden whistle.
A golden whistle.
That would be nice.
Listen, Joel Quenneville, we got to send him a Rest as a Weapon t-shirt. I'm going to get one because this guy believes in Rest as a Weapon. I was talking to Killer and Stromer, the boys, like, he is not afraid to fire 2 days off. I think 3 times this year, which in that condensed schedule, they've had 2 days off. Like, that's my kind of coach.
That's baseball, small too.
Yeah,
that is good baseball. That's managing your bench. That's a good bench boss.
Yeah, you got to have depth on the bench, and you got to have a lot of depth in your bullpen. You got to have depth. You got to be able to go lefty, righty, whatever you need. Hey. Coach Q, I love you. Congratulations. I'm going to say one thing kind of negatively. Let's get Stromer in the lineup. Let's get fucking Stromer in the lineup. I think I don't know. I think he adds an element to that team that they could definitely use and definitely down the stretch here. But congratulations, Coach Q. You're a beauty. 1,000 wins. Only second guy to do that.
Second guy ever.
Second guy to do that. Swishy, who you dishing a Pristine Pilsner to?
I think we maybe touched on it a little bit, but it just came confirmed as of yesterday that Patty McAfee picked up the tab there for the boys at 1,150K worth of champagne, Bud Light, tequila. I mean, all the sorts of piss. That was a classy gesture. Obviously, Patty McAfee making the big bucks, but he didn't have to do that. He's not a hockey guy. He's friends with a bunch of hockey players, but just thought that was as a good American chin a Yinzer and a friend of just a lot of those guys on that team. Thought that was classy. 150K. I don't care how much you're making, Opes. That's a lot for a bar tab, fella.
I love Pat McAfee, as you boys know. I would love nothing more than drink 24 blue lights with him and have a fucking night with him. He's a proud American. He loves hockey. He's from Pittsburgh. Last year when the Four Nations happened, he had the Tkachuk boys on. I'm sure now that Team USA is off their bender, we're going to see them come on the Pat McAfee show. But I love him, and to pick up, I know he's making bank. He's making like 15 bananas a year, or maybe more. But 150 grand. That's still a nice gesture. Fuck, I would have said a bottle of tequila or something.
You'd think he would have went down and enjoyed it with them, almost.
Wife,
I don't want to steal your thunder, boys, but like, hey, 11. Kind of like that spot.
His wife said, "You're not going, Patrick."
Yeah, like
you have a seat right here, Patrick.
That just
your daughter needs your diapers changed. You sit right here.
Yeah, it puts you on another level when you're not even there. Usually, if you go in and be like, "Boys, I got this," like you fucking rights. Can I see one of those medals? And
if you're gonna pay for it, you want to get in there and watch everyone. Yeah. I'm paying for this. Hey, sweetheart, I'm paying for this. Come on in here.
Rules right in there, hey, boys.
As my buddy used to say, you want some champagne, and then the champagne would come. Shout out to Blowdry Lombardo. This was his move. He'd order champagne for a bunch of other girls, and then the champagne would come, and the guy would like, "You want champagne?" He's like, "I don't drink champagne." I don't drink champagne. So, Pat McAfee, you're a legend, buddy. Moving on with get this guy, Labatt Blue. I'm dishing out three boys. First, Ryan Smith. You're a beauty. You send the private bird to pick up Kells. That's what great ownership does, man. And they didn't win the game last night, but got Kells back safe and sound, probably a little more refreshed than he would be. And it didn't pay off last night, but it will pay off in the next 2 weeks because naturally these guys are going to, like Tom Petty said, coming down's the hardest thing. That little bit uppy, that means a lot. So Ryan Smith, fella, I know you don't booze, but get yourself Labatt Blue because that's what ownership should do, man.
Yeah, it's what's a write-off anyway? But that's exactly what that is. Yeah. It's a little upfront for something on the back end, as you said. And it just proves, like, this is your guy. This is your captain. He's coming back after a gold medal. He's been over in Italy, eating pasta, celebrating for a while. Let's get him back home safe and sound. And the weather in the East Coast is an absolute shit show. You don't want him like stuck in an airport or like getting back to Utah.
Get sick maybe. You don't want to fucking go through security. TSA's on strike because of the
case of the poor.
Can't even do the fucking what do you call the pre-check swish?
Oh, the pigeon deck.
The pigeon deck.
Petting zoo.
They shut that down. So now you got to take your kicks off. Fuck. In what? Can't be.
Yeah, it's. Oh, speaking of kicks, did you see the kicks Smitty had on the tarmac picking up pills? Louis Vuitton Air Maxes. Those aren't after the rack, fella. Those are those MSRP at a north about $1,400.
You can't walk into Foot Locker and get those off the file. What size, fella? 13? No, we don't have them, buds.
We don't have them, bud. They're gonna have to go to Neiman Marcus for those, fella.
I was in Neiman Marcus trying to get a little skin product there, and they no longer carry Keels.
No way.
A little fucking avocado cream for the eyes, eh?
Just go online, but
fuck. I needed it for Big Canyon because Ice Pick's old man, Todd Pickup, the beauty, is redoing not only the pool, he's redoing the pool bar, which is going to be unbelievable. So I got to swim at the Big Canyon now. So I got to make sure I keep my skincare product up.
A lot of chlorine in there?
Listen,
is that the difference?
When you swim, you got to get out immediately. You got to have a really good, shower, conditioner, get it out of there because you do stink like chlorine, and then you got to take care of your skin. Kevin Connolly told me that.
Yeah, no shit.
Especially when I first started partying with Collins like a couple years in, I'm like, oh, fuck, you don't age. He's like, bro, you got to have a skincare product. You got to have a skincare program, bro. You got to moisturize. You got to have eye cream, bro. You got to do it. So since that day, I religiously do it.
I got to get to Big Canyon and see the big fella swimming around. That'd be great.
Yeah, he's moving while
I gotta see it once, and I don't need to put it on camera. I just got to see it.
Hey, listen, you can. If anyone can put it on camera, you can, fella. Right, so get me walking in, with the boiler hanging out. But
no.
Swalty, when he gets his fins on, though, it's a sight to see. But he gets in there, and it's the fucking nice, the arm, the wingspan. But he gets it out there.
The breaststroke, I love. Open it up.
You do.
Open it up.
Oh, those fins are nice, though, eh?
The fins are a game changer.
He's got Beckham a set of fins. Fuck, his swimming's way better with him.
Listen, I'll tell you what. If Beckham and Izzy and Goldie going up here, like lifeguard program is like you have to do it. Like, they're going to be really good swimmers, your kids, if you continue to live in California. Everybody in California can fucking swim. Yeah. It's like everyone in Wisconsin and Canada, Fort Mac can skate.
Yeah.
You got to know how to swim.
Skate and drink.
You got to know how to drink.
Yeah. Exactly. Speaking of drinking, get this guy a Labatt Blue. Brayden Point, up dog. I talked to you on Wednesday. We're recording about, did we miss Brayden Point at the Olympics? Well, if he would have been, this healthy and this fresh, we definitely did miss him. He had the jump back. He had an unbelievable game. He could have had, him and Cooch, like I said, could have had 6 or 7 points. We all know how we feel about Tampa. We're pulling for them. Brayden Point, buddy, stay healthy. Get yourself Labatt Blue. He's looking really good. And the last one for me, boys, Gavin McKenna. Not only did he have an 8-point night against Ohio State the other night, he had Connor McGregor reaching back out to him on X after he did the McGregor walk. So in the last month, he's knocked the guy out. He's had Connor McGregor repost his shit, and he's got an 8-point night. This guy is the first overall. This guy is the first overall pick.
Has to Bob Stauffer last night. This kid's going to go first. And he said that, Verhoff is a close second. And then I saw a picture of this kid with his shirt off, and he's chiseled, this kid.
McKenna or Verhoff?
So I'm like, damn, with abs like that, I mean, he should just post one of these photos. Maybe he takes the top spot.
You know who used to do that? He wouldn't do it on social media, but Trevor Gillies would send pictures like he did it to Troy G. Ward when he signed in Abbotsford. He's like, when Troy G's like, hey, Trevor Gillies just sent me a picture with his shirt off when I asked he's in shape. He used to just send pictures to people of him just fucking jacked.
The train.
Let him know, boys. Let him know. I remember when I was just hanging on by a thread in Europe. I think it was somebody at Big Canyon or something. Like, why don't you do like a workout video showing it? I'm like, funny. That's not going to help me. I'm trying to pretend like I'm in shape for it. I'm not giving him any video footage, but Gavin McKenna, good on you, fella. Get yourself a Labatt Blue. Last but not least, it's milk carton time here at Missin Curfew. And this, I do this with a heavy heart, and it makes me sad. Sidney Crosby's on the milk carton for the next 4 weeks. But where I'm going with this, boys, is his comments about the hit on Gudis. Like, once again, Sidney Crosby handles himself with pure class. I'm going to paragraph. What do you say that when you're not going to
Paraphrase?
Paraphrase, thank you. He basically said, it was a hard play. He was playing hard. It was unfortunate for me the way I fell back, but I got no problem with the hit. Sid, good on you, buddy. You're an absolute pro, and once again, you represented Canada the right way. But Gudis, I got a fucking problem with it. I'm not as professional as Sidney Crosby. I got a problem with the fucking hit. I thought it was cunty and prickish, and fuck, if I was out there, Gudis, I would have been coming for you. But once again, Sidney Crosby takes the high road. If I see Gudis around Newport, boys, I don't know. I might give him a bump. I might lean on him.
That would help our show, bud. It'd be well liked in Canada for sure. And all the guys that went out and battled without Sid on that team would thank you as well. Listen, I know he's come after me a few times. Guy he plays hard, but he's a fucking problem out there because he doesn't know what he's doing. If he goes knee first, elbow first, head first, he fucking is a liability out there for taking out fucking players.
He was trying to take out the whole country. And listen, we've met him out here. He's a good guy, and he's had a hell of a career. And I'm half serious, but if I see him, I might give him a little hip check. But when the game was going on, Swishy, I was on social media like, this fucking guy's trying to take out our whole country. Like, somebody do something. And you were at the game, Swish. He was a real big reason why the Czechs not almost won that hockey game.
That first period, he was closer to Robert Gordon Orr than he was to a plumber, which he sometimes usually is. That pass he picked off from Stone in the neutral zone to set up the first goal for the Czechs was a hell of a play. He put Hagel's chin on the dasher. Yeah. He ended up spending the time in the box, but still is a very aggressive play. Takes out Crosby and just missed McDavid. He was all over the sheet, and he was doing this all in a bucket from like 2008. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he had the old school Reebok helmet with the inserts on it that I hadn't seen since like 2010. I'm like, where did he pull that up from some stinky locker in Czech to wear that bucket? Because I didn't see one of those since like Jake Voracek in 2015. And even at that time, it was outdated Opes.
Yeah. Back then it was the CCM or that Reebok, and I always went CCM because I never liked that Reebok.
Used the Reebok.
Did he? Yeah, he's got kind of a big round head. You need to have a big round head. I guess I do now. I could wear it now. I got a fat face and a round head, but I was looking to be a little sleeker with the CCM, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
But he played unbelievable, and I just want to say to Sid again, man, you just handle yourself with pure class all the time. Like, he could have said, like, yeah, it was a prickish hit, and I could have been the first guy ever to win 3 cups and 3 gold medals, and he cost me. What does Sid say? Hey, it's a hockey play. It's a big game. He was playing me hard. Unfortunate the way I landed. So I just want to tip my hat to Sid again. And Gudis, you're not invited to Big Canyon anytime soon. I can tell you that. So, boys, always fun snapping around with you. Listen, we got a USA hockey legend, all-time beauty, JR, Jeremy Roenick, coming at you next on Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up dog, Swishy, a legend here. A guy that on and off. Fuck, I wish I would have played with this guy. Probably would have been great for my career. but I would have had a lot of fun with them. And when you think USA hockey, I know all three of us think this guy, two-time Olympian, Hockey Hall of Famer, maybe the best nickname in hockey was Styles. And I know this beauty enjoyed the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver because I think I saw him out every single night. But Jeremy Roenick, JR, good to see you, my man. And congrats to USA Hockey because you're a pioneer, my man.
Amazing. I appreciate it, Obi. Good to be on with you guys. It's about time that you had somebody with a little bit of pizzazz on the show. Hopefully I can fit the bill. But yeah, what an amazing week for USA Hockey. What an amazing tournament. To win the gold medal is such a huge thing for the United States in so many different ways. And it didn't look pretty. Canada was unbelievable. I don't think it's a surprise to say that we weren't the best team on Sunday. 43 shots to 26. Canada held, breakaway after breakaway, missed opportunity after missed opportunity, but we had the best goalie, without question. One of the best goalie performances I've ever seen in a game by Connor Hellebuck, and we found a way to bring it home because it's going to change the dynamics of hockey and the direction of hockey for the next generation because of these guys. They were just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, JR, just to go back a bit, you're two-time Olympian, you got a World Cup on your belt. We've been saying on this show for a while now that the Americans are coming, like that they're a boys club. If you listen to Jack Hughes, he all talks about just the camaraderie that they have, right? But when did you, being a guy that faced off against the Canadians and the Russians in your day, and when did you see that this group of young Americans that were coming? Like, we talk about it all the time, but these kids are just so niched together. Like, have you seen it for a while now?
Well, it's been coming since '96, right? Since the World Cup. I mean, we've been getting better and better as a nation. 2002, we were in the gold medal game, lost to Canada. We were in 2010, as Obi, you said, in Vancouver, which probably was one of the greatest months of my life and one of the greatest Olympics that I've ever seen in Vancouver. It's to watch watch USA Hockey grow and get more popular, and we're winning junior championships. We're getting draft picks from Arizona, like Mouse and Matthews as number ones. It's just growing and growing and growing. It's because of these big wins, wins. And unfortunately for Canada, it's when we do beat Canada, it seems to be in these big stages where it literally propels our sport into what's happening. And the USA has done a great job in the U.S. development program, putting programs across the country, making sure that there's more ice, that there more rinks are being built, that it's in other places more affordable, because obviously we know it's a crazy expensive sport. But we've been coming now for the last 20 years in a big way. And I think now it's going to there are thousands, maybe millions of kids that are going to go out to learn to skate this week. Their parents are going to bring them to learn to skate because of what happened on Sunday. And I think hockey is alive and very, very strong, not only just in men, but with the women's. The women's team, guys, was the best team I've ever seen assembled in women's hockey, U.S. They did, what did they shoot? 35-3 in goals through that tournament. Nobody's ever dominated like our U.S. Olympic team did.
JR, I want to take you back to 1988. You were the 8th overall pick of the Chicago Blackhawks, and I believe that summer you were slated in to go to Boston College, and then you ended up going to the Q. At that time, not a lot of guys went to major junior. I think you were on campus, even maybe you were there for about 3.5 minutes. But why did you decide to go to the Q over BC at the time? Because you were a local Boston kid.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. It's a great question, because I was drafted in June of '88 and went 8th overall. And as a high school kid, that was very rare, right? For a high school kid, it's to go in the first round, which was majority Canadian, especially out of high school. And I was only 155 pounds. So, to be drafted 8th was very fortunate. But then, I was a junior in high school, just finished my junior year. So it's like, I can't go back to high school because it's going to negate my development. So I took college classes in the summer, got my entire senior year of credits worth from my high school. So I got my diploma in September. but the Blackhawks were only offering me $95,000 for a contract. I'm like, 95,000? Are you kidding me? I'm a first round pick. I'm like, I'm not going to take that. So I decided to go to BC, and I had a chance to go to the Quebec League when I was 15 years old. Gretz actually took me to breakfast in Boston and tried to convince me to go play in Hull, which my mom didn't let me, so I didn't go there then. But now I'm sitting here, I'm drafted, and I don't have a good contract offer. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go to BC. Well, I went to BC. I went to my first class, and 5 minutes into my first class, I learned what a syllabus was. I'm like, fuck that. I'm out of here. I said, I nearly five minutes into my first class, and I'm walking out, putting a quarter in the payphone, calling my agent and saying, hey, Neil, you talked to Chicago today? Did they offer anything more? It's like, nope, it's still 95,000. I said, I'm taking it. Let's go play Chicago. 95,000 is good for me. He goes, JR, we've been saying no to 95,000 for 4 months. I said, 4 months ago, I didn't know what a syllabus was, Neil. I'm out of here. This is not for me. So I turned pro. So I went to Chicago. And I walked in the Chicago locker room at 5 days late. The people thought I was the stick boy because I was so small. I literally walked into the locker room. I walked around the corner, and there Al Secord was. He's standing in front of me, naked. And I swear to God, at 18 years old, I've never in my life seen a grown man naked like this, ever. He was like chiseled. He had hair all over him. The only hair I had was on top of my head. He had hair all over him. He had a receding hairline, no teeth, and a big cut on his chin. I swear to God, I was so scared. I'm like, I have to play against this guy. I've apologized to Al before, but he looked like he should be in prison, not playing hockey. And I'm like, this is where I'm just come from high school, right? Anyway, I make the team. I play great. I play an awesome 2 weeks of camp. Make the team. I play 4 games in the National Hockey League at 18 years old, and didn't have any points. So Mike Keenan says, listen, we're going to send you to Major Junior because we don't want to send you to the AHL because you'll get wrecked. So we're going to send you to Junior. So you have a choice to go. You have a choice to either go to the Hull Olympics, who had drafted me a couple of years earlier, or the Sault Ste. Marie, who had also drafted me. So that they owned my rights. So I decided to go to Hull because it was closer to home. I was more familiar with the Quebec League, and I just tore that league up for 27 games. And then went back in February for an emergency recall situation with the Hawks, and I just never went back. It was a crazy first year of pro for me.
JR, that's great. You're a beauty. I want to go back to the Olympics and Team USA, buddy. We've been lucky enough to get to know USA Hockey. Yourself, Big Walt, Chelly, guys, Billy Guerin, guys like that. We could see the brotherhood that you guys had when you guys were playing. But when Jack Hughes wins, and one of the first things that comes out of his mouth is, I want to thank all the guys that paved the road for me. How did that make you feel? For me, from a Canadian perspective, I was just like, that's what it's all about, man. You gotta tip your hat to the boys who did this for us and showed us the way.
I cried. Obi, I swear to God, I cried. Tears were coming out of my eyes. And even more than that, it was the way that they showed their pride towards each other, towards the country, towards the military, and then towards each other, and then towards the people that came before them. I was sitting in my house on Tuesday morning. I'm sitting in my house, doing some work, and my phone rings, and it's a FaceTime, and it was Charlie McAvoy FaceTiming me from Air Force 2 with the boys. And just saying thanks. And, Dylan Larkin, who is one of my favorite guys in the world, is like, JR, we did that for you guys. You guys paved the way for us. You guys are the best. And and I started crying again. Like it was like the greatest gift that I could have been given as an ex-NHLer. One of the greatest gifts I can be given, to have those young guys who I just cried over winning the gold medal calling me on FaceTime and showing that kind of respect. It shows the brotherhood, Obi. It was so special.
It's awesome, man.
It just puts hockey in such a different category because, well, what other sport would this happen to, where these young kids, 20, 24 years old, are all calling the beauties and the icons that they look? None.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a unique thing, and it made me proud as just a hockey player, as the brotherhood of just hockey. Not maybe, I got American kids now, but just to see that, man, like, and the whole experience of these guys just going hard like we used to. I mean, did anyone party harder after winning a gold medal than those boys?
Yes.
You're damn right.
Yes.
Well,
They
that's
did
why
party hard.
That's why they look up to you there.
By the way, they did. By the way, yes, they did. They did party hard. They did represent well, but they also did it with respect and class. I wouldn't say that all of my celebrations were the same, but yes, there have been harder parties. Yes, for sure. Yes.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask you, or like, just talking about just that brotherhood of old school beauties, and I feel like that it's kind of coming back a little bit in terms of, they're back in the winner's circle, but those teams that you guys had and how close you guys were with the Walt Tkachuks, Chelios, you, Brett Hall. I mean, just talk about, like, every time you guys would meet up for international play, it seemed like it was just a bunch of rock stars. I mean, you had Bob Rock in the mix and Kid Rock and guys you were hanging out with. It just felt like that era was just, it was
insane.
Yeah,
it was insane. Well, we had the great pleasure of having one of the greatest hockey people of all time. We call him the godfather of USA hockey. And that's Chris Chelios, right? Yeah. Chelly is there's not one guy in our generation who doesn't look at Chelly as being the top guy, the lead guy, the captain. Yeah, you just named off a couple great guys: Big Walt, Tony Amonte, Mike Modano, Billy Guerin, Dougie Waite, John Leclerc, Leachy, myself. I mean, we had a bomb of a squad, of a team, and you never lose that bond of the guys that really helped build a country and the respect of a country. Right. And you guys talked about 96 beating Canada in that 3-game series. I mean, that was insane hockey for US. That bond doesn't go. The 80 team, their bond is still strong. They do things yearly together. What this hockey team did on Sunday, this US team, they are bonded together forever. There's no question they will get together in 20 years and look back in this 30 years and be like, that was like one of the greatest things of all time. It was in 80. It was "Do You Believe in Miracles?" In 2026, it was "The Golden Goal." It was like, these are the bonds that hockey players have. You guys know. Look at you three sitting in a room together having fun. You guys having fun together, just creating more love for the game. Hockey is a very unique brotherhood and a bond that is really unshakable. It really is unshakable, and I'm so proud to be a part of it and have. And even in today's game, like what you just said, it's coming back. The toughness is coming back. These games there's more fights going on. There's more hitting going on. There's more jawing going on. And I think what happened with the Four Nations last year, with kind of that level of hockey, we saw what kind of attention it got. These kids are bringing something different to the table. And I think the game is as good as it's ever been.
It's no Leafs Flyers back in the day, though, JR. It hasn't quite got back to that fella. Right?
No.
That was a war.
It's definitely that was, by the way, 2004 best goal I ever scored. Sorry, Leaf fans.
That was funny. You broke my heart. I still loved you, though. I was like, as much as I wanted to hate you, I was like, look how sick Roenick's style is. And I'm like, look at his skates. Look at his hair. I'm like, that guy's a fucking NHLer. But yeah, you broke my heart, fella.
Oh, I played the role. That's for sure. But it'll never get back to the old Chicago, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Minnesota, where you knew there was going to be 4, 5, 6 fights easy a game, and probably 20 in the stands. It's a totally different mentality. But these players today, they're strong, they're tough, they're fast, they're talented. I was at the Kings Golden Knights game last night. And the pace that these guys were playing in last night was insane, coming off a 2-week break. I'm looking forward to the last quarter of the NHL season and the playoffs.
Yeah, JR, just to back on a kid that I've got to know and I love him, and so does our boy Frosty, is Jack Hughes. I look at this kid at 25 years old, and the swag he has on the ice and off the ice, and what he was able to do post Olympics, you know, in this 3-day thing, the way he's spoken, staying up all night for 2 nights and then doing Good Morning America was pretty impressive too. But can you just enlighten us on like what you see in this kid? Like, he reminds me, he has swag like you, but to score that golden goal and to have USA hockey and the world of hockey on his shoulders, and what he did with Tage Thompson last night and speaking to the state of New Jersey before the game with the mic out there, it kind of reminded me of you actually grabbing the mic and just going for it. But like, how special is it for America to have like a kid like this who's going to propel hockey into the next phase of where it should go?
Yeah. It's just an absolute amazing talent and an amazing person. If you meet, I've met Jack many times. His whole family is just an absolute just credit to hockey, what they have been able to do. I mean, Quinn, arguably I don't know, could you say the second best defenseman in the world?
He's right there. So on A1B, JR, he's so good.
Put McCarr and Quinn Hughes right there. Luke is great in himself. Jack is, and I love that you said that about Jack. His personality and his pizzazz off the ice makes him so much more likable. He does great interviews. He gives you good content. He gives you good energy. He doesn't cliche bullshit like you hear some of the guys who are maybe afraid of giving out personality or maybe bring himself out a little bit. He's a proud kid. He loves his brothers. He loves his team. He loves his game. He loves his country. He could not have been better of a guy to score a goal and to really, I think, help his career even more so. I mean, let's be honest. I think his performance in the Four Nations was less than average, and I think he'll be the first one to tell you that. And maybe going into the Olympics, maybe not knowing he was going to have such a big role on this Olympic team. I never saw Jack Hughes play better in a game or a span of games than he did at the Olympics. And I think this is going to help him in his career. I think it's going to help him in Jersey. There's not many more talented players in the game. And for him to get that goal after getting his teeth knocked out, taking another high stick, going to the penalty box, not missing a minute. I can't even imagine what he was thinking about in that penalty box after he took that high stick, right? Is that high sticking penalty?
I've been there before.
He would shitting himself, right? But that he epitomized literally what hockey is all about. Lose your teeth, spit them to the side, don't miss a shift, doesn't matter. Boom, goal. Thank you, America. I love America. I love my teammates. Thanks to the military. If there's not a more classy way to handle this whole thing, I love Jack Hughes. I love the Hughes family. I love the Tkachuk family, what they've done, what Walt and Chantal have done with Matthew and Brady. There's their daughter Tara. Hockey families, what they're doing. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but way to go, Jack. Yeah. Way to represent well.
Yeah, you just forgot the last part, get drunk, which you did that too. So, but JR, I want to stay there with, you use the word personality, buddy, and nobody had more personality than you when you played. And I used to love watching you on and off the ice. And you mentioned Maddie and Brady, two kids that have been unbelievable to Missin Curfew, and I've got to know them and their family. And you talk about personality. The way that Updog talks about Jack, that's how I feel about Maddie and Brady. Like, they play hard. Yeah. They're the ultimate competitors, and off the ice, they'll let you into their personality and sell the game and let you know who they are. Like, they've just done such a great job, not just for USA Hockey, JR, for hockey in general.
Hockey. Well, I think they've kind of saved the National Hockey League a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they have been able to maintain a little bit of an old school mentality. The way that they play, the way that they represent their team, their talent, their feistiness, their jawing back and forth, their verbal altercations. They epitomize again what the game is about, how you play it, your team first mentality, a physical, like, hard way to play the game. And listen, Big Walt. We all know Big Walt. He is one of the best power forwards and one of the best captains I have ever seen in the game. Yeah. And the way that he attacked the game, the way he looked at the game, the way he respected the game, the way he gave back to the game. Those two boys, Matthew and Brady, watched their dad and how he did it, and just they're spitting images of Big Walt. Matthew plays a lot like Big Walt did. Brady plays a lot like I did, like the faster skater, maybe a little bit more dynamic, but their personalities, what they're giving back to the community, the way that they speak on television, the way that they represent the game is amazing. I've known them both since they were born. I'm very, very fortunate. I'd have to say it's my favorite family in hockey. I love that family. Big Walt is one of my favorite people of all time. I couldn't be more proud of Matthew and Brady for what they've been able to do and keep a very, very important part of the hockey culture alive. Now I just want Brady to win a Stanley Cup so he can catch his brother a little bit.
Yeah. Well said.
Sure. And JR, your swag was something I always, was envy of, especially, dating back to your Flyers days of coming on the ice during warm-up with the Bobby Clark wig on. Chicago days with your full jersey tuck and the skates tucked in as well. Like, you talked about it a little bit, when you came into Chicago as a young kid at 18 years old, 155 pounds, like, was the swag always in you? Did you have that like throughout your life, or was it just the first time you scored 50? Did you get that swag? Because it was just like you were just so swaggy.
I was the biggest nerd ever. I wore white on white in high school, man. I wore white on white in high school. I had zero style whatsoever. I was shy. I wasn't tough. I was none of that. I was none of what I had to build myself into the Blackhawks, or what I portrayed. I think I was forced to become a physical player by Mike Keenan. I enjoyed the attention, which brought out kind of the personality, but I also understood that we're entertainers. We're in an entertainment industry. Like, yes, it's a sport, but we have millions and millions of people that watch us on television, thousands and thousands of people that come to games every night. They spend their hard-earned money to come watch us. We are there to entertain them. And if we don't realize, and I've always respected this about sports and about my role in the game, is my role is to make sure I give them the best product, whether it's a great game on the ice, hitting, scoring, working hard, giving them, dynamic plays, whether it was throwing pucks in the stands to them, whether it was meeting them on the street and having a conversation, signing an autograph, taking a picture, making sure that they know that they're respected and thanked and appreciated. I always made sure that, and I still do it today. It's very, very important. I think more people should do it. So I embraced please come talk to me. Please watch. I'm not going to give you something boring to watch. I'm not going to give you something that we're like, okay, well, I didn't learn anything there. And I'm sure that I got a lot of critics. I know I got a lot of critics. I took a lot of heat for being, an egomaniac, being a selfish, being all about me, or whatever the case may be. But it wasn't for my benefit. It was more for the benefit to give as an entertainment feature for people, because I totally love the fan. And this is what I say all the time. If it wasn't for the fan paying their money to come watch us, we would be a local men's league down at the local arena with a designated beer guy. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we'd be. So thanks to the fans for allowing us to do what we do.
Sell the game, AJR. That's what I used to tell the boys. We gotta sell the game here, boys.
That's the easy part.
Sell the game, man. Absolutely.
Blocking shots is hard. Selling this thing's easy. Come on.
JR, I wanted to ask you, and you're a passionate guy, and I've texted a couple of guys from Canada that were there, and then back in 2010, everyone that says they go to the Olympics, how special it is. Like, as a player, I couldn't even imagine it. I wasn't in that caliber or even close. But what makes it so special, JR? I know representing your country's the ultimate goal, but what is so special about going over there and being an Olympian that every player I talk to loves it?
Because the Olympics has a stigma, and the stigma is it's the best athletes in the world.
Gotcha.
Okay, the best athletes in the world play against the other country's best athletes. So you're combining the best in each sport. And when you go to Olympics, you get to be around all these people from other countries that are the best in their sport in their country, and there's there's an amount of respect for that, and that you have to represent a country. Obviously, the red, white, and blue, the colors of your country become important, but you're also now notarized as one of the greatest athletes, and there's a responsibility of how to play against that. And it's a lot of fun going into seeing what it's like in the Olympic Village, living with the other athletes, going to into the cafeterias with all this food from all over the world and sharing it with people that you would never usually see in a normal basis. It's real special. But the fact that it's about the world, and it's about representing your country, and that you have been slotted as one of the best players in the world, and there comes a responsibility with that, and a lot of fun doing it.
JR, just a little bit about, the camaraderie that they have and the high that these boys are on and the brotherhood. How quick do you think it's going to change to where they're back in the mix and they're battling with each other? I look back at you with, some of your battles that you had with some of your best boys, whether it's Chelly or Big Walt. Like, how soon do you think these boys get back at it? And then maybe talk about those moments where you used to battle against, some of your best friends out there, and it's back to Hawks wings.
Yeah. It's instant.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the getting on the ice, I'm sure the guys that got on the ice last night, like Drew Doughty going against Hurdle last night, they're going after it again. They're battling so hard. They're not their hatred for each other, but the competitiveness. Hockey guys, you guys know, they're so professional. They play hard. They know why they're playing, and they're not going to sit on their laurels. They're not going to sit on an Olympic gold and then forget why, who they play for when they come back. And it doesn't. They're going to chop. They'll punch. They'll fight. It doesn't matter. There's no grace period, guys. You know that. There's no grace period. It's like as soon as they get back in, it's hockey as usual, fellas. It's hockey as usual. So, yeah, no, there's no grace period, man. It's right back to business as usual.
JR, I wanted to ask you now, speaking of buddies and maybe a relationship that didn't get off on the best note, I wanted you to confirm this story because I just heard through the grapevine. Remember dating back to a scrum, I believe, where you sucker punched Craig Berube, and he came up to you afterwards and said, "I'm going to get you, JR." And, it took a few years for that to happen. So I would love for you to retell that story because it's amazing.
Yeah, I was playing in Chicago. We were playing Philly in Chicago, and Paul Holmgren was the coach, who was a tough motherfucker in himself.
He was.
Yeah, tough. And Hextall's in net, and we know Hexy's history and how he played. He was probably the toughest goaltender probably of all time, and the craziest goaltender of all time. But anyway, I ran the net. I pushed the net to try to score a goal, and I knocked Hextall flying. And the next period, Holmgren sends Berube out to teach me a lesson, which great to just send the toughest guy out there to fight this superstar small guy, right? Whatever. But back then, if there was a scrum or if I was getting touched, the whole team would come in, right? It was 5-on-5 brawls. That's what we did back then. So it was a 5-on-5 brawl.
It was awesome.
And the referee, one of the linesmen had Berube like kind of wrapped up, and there's melee's going on, and I had my fist. I'm fighting for dear life, but all of a sudden I had this opportunity. There it is. It's like Chief is looking at me, yelling obscenities at me and screaming in the spin. And it's like the devil and the angel, right? The angel's like, "No, don't do it." And the devil's like, "Give it, fucking hit him," right? I'm like, right? So, of course, back then I listened to the wrong one most of the time, like I did with everything I did, and I went and I caught him with a big right, and it was it's unwritten rule, you don't hit somebody that's not protected or is not, and I did, and so for the next 3 or 4 years, every time we played the Flyers, here comes Berube chasing after me, screaming at me, yelling at me during the warm-ups, "I'm going to get you. I'm going to beat the shit out of you." And that scared. Every time I would jump on the ice, he would jump on the ice, and I'd skate right back to the bench. I'm like, I'm not hurting it. I was lucky. I was on the first line. He was on the fourth line. So there was a couple lines in between, but he would yell for guys to get off the ice. And so he chased me for a few years. And then finally I signed with the Flyers. And he wasn't on the Flyers at the time, but halfway through the season, the Flyers signed Berube as kind of a player coach for the Phantoms, which is the Philly farm team. But we shared the same practice facility. We had one sheet on one side, they had the other sheet, and their locker rooms were combined. And of course, Berube can go wherever he wants to. So this one morning we're practicing, and he comes walking into the Flyers locker side, and he's saying hi to everybody and saying hi to the trainers, because Chief is an amazing man. He's one of the best men in all of hockey. He's just such a true class, good teammate. But he walks into the locker room, and I'm taping my stick, right? And I look up, and I'm like, kind of reluctantly go, "Hey, Chief, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, JR, what's up?" He puts his hand on my shoulders. He goes, bang, and he hits me with a short little right to the mouth. And I'm like I'm bleeding in my mouth, and it hurt so bad. It hurt like a motherfucker. And he says, I told you I'd get you. I'm like, man, I'm like, okay, we're even. And we actually played golf that day. We swig back a bunch of beers, had a great time, and become really good friends since then. It was really pretty cool. Hey, you don't know. Sometimes you can be friends by punching each other in the head, right? You never know. That's hockey players are known to do that.
And sometimes those need to be punched in the face.
I love that JR didn't say chase me around for a couple games, couple years. Yeah, he chased you around for a couple years.
Oh, yeah, years. Absolutely. Luckily, I was in the West and he was in the East, so we only played him like once a year, twice a year. So,
yeah.
Oof.
Great man. That's great, man. That is hockey. That's awesome. JR, I just want to ask you, obviously we talked about the 96 World Cup and now that Canada and the States are right there. Like, how important, I think we need a World Cup every 2 years. How important do you think it is to get back on track now and get that World Cup back, every couple of years or whatever it is, because we have so many great players. The States and Canada are right there neck and neck. Like, don't you think it's time to really start building some momentum around this tournament?
100%. I think what the league did last year with the Four Nations was one of the best things that they've done in a long time to help increase the popularity of hockey. When it was U.S.-Canada and that Saturday game, I think we probably had more people watching because of what led up to it, right? And how great the hockey was. And now what we've seen in the Olympics, I from what I understand, I think the National Hockey League has that idea in mind to make sure that every 2 years there is some sort of international event, whether it's a Four Nations Cup with different nations or whether obviously with the Olympics. This was the first time that the NHL was back in the Olympics, in 12 years, which I think was a huge success. The game is so good, guys. And I think the game even gets better when the countries play against each other. I think you see more dynamics. You might see more fighting in a World Cup situation like we did in the Four Nations, because if you fight in an IIHF Olympic situation, you get thrown out of a game, literally. Whereas if you're doing a World Cup, you'll probably have just a 5 minutes regular NHL style. I agree with you, Obi. I think they need to continue this international, I think, brand that they built, because it's more people are getting into hockey because of it.
JR, I wanted to ask you, you have such a sharp mind for the game, and I grew up watching you on NBC Sports and just listening to you break down the game. I've always loved your takes and just your knowledge of the game. Is that something that you would like to get back into, TV or working with a team? Or do you enjoy what you're doing now, just playing golf, hanging out, and you're in the Hall of Fame now? Like, I just think you just have so much to give to the game. You're always just such a colorful, obviously, personality.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for saying that. I love the game. It was very good to me, but it was also very detrimental to me. And getting back into the TV, I love talking hockey. I know the game extremely well. I have a lot of opinions about the game, and I'm not afraid to tell them. And I can break down a game as well as anyone. Do I want to get back into that realm of television and have to be kind of at the whim of a big corporation where they're going to maybe keep me from being myself? I don't know if I want to do that. I might not be the same person that I was. I'm involved with the Blackhawks. I'm a Blackhawk ambassador, which I'm so proud of and I take very seriously. And I love walking through that United Center and and greeting the Chicago Blackhawks fans and representing the team that I came into the league with that I love. Maybe there's a role in management that I would definitely take a look at. Television, I'm kind of wishy-washy on.
Yeah, well, if you ever want to talk hockey, you can talk it here any day of the week. Yeah. And by the way, I used to love when you and Milbury would go at it. That was like my favorite part. I'm like, when James Milbury would go down, I'm like, this good TV.
Yep, awesome. But we definitely went after it because we weren't afraid to speak what we thought or what we saw, right? Yeah. And unfortunately, sometimes it's more watered down now, and you get, again, people want to hear truth. They want to hear, they do want controversial things being said. They do want you to say when someone sucks, and they do want you to say when someone's good. It's being honest with the viewer is important. I watch like everybody else. I have my opinions like everybody else, but I think it's good with social media, with what you guys do. You guys have a great platform by giving your opinions and let people see and have your conversations. The podcast world has really done a great thing for people like me and like yourselves to keep our influence out there. Yeah. It doesn't have to be just on television because there's lots of ways of getting it out there. And so you guys do an amazing job. Missin Curfew is one of the best podcasts out there for hockey. And it's great to be able to be on with you guys and share what I do along with what you guys do. It's a lot of respect.
We appreciate that, JR. And I just wanted to, before I turn over to Updog here, just about the NHL and NBC, like, we had Pierre Maguire on earlier, and we all love Doc Emmerich and yourself and Jonesy and Milbury. And, looking back, we almost kind of took it for granted. And I don't think you guys get the credit you deserve to where the game has gotten to now. Listen, JR, when I first got in the fucking league, it was on Versus. I was playing for the Ducks. I couldn't watch any of my buddies play. Then I got an NBC. And you guys, I just don't know if you got the credit you deserve for building the game in this country, because when I first started playing the NHL, like I said, you couldn't get a fucking game. And then you guys came on, and it kind of, you helped grow it, bro.
Yeah, no, there's no question about it. I will agree with you. I'll take that compliment and I'll run with it. Yeah, because it was. I mean, Jonesy is one of the best hockey minds ever. Mike Milbury was awesome at what he did, and it was definitely a way where people could turn the television on and see a game. It's a great point by you, Obi. You didn't have to search for it.
Yeah,
right. And like it was on OL Land at one time. Like, what's OL Land? Like, what is that? It's like an outdoor life network. Like, what? Like, give me a break. Like, so it did evolve, and we did do a good job of putting it out there. So, that was a lot of fun. But again, those days are past, and still like watching. I don't watch too. I watch the game. I don't watch too much of the of the broadcast, but it's all good.
Yeah, it was tough picking up chicks back in the day when you're young and you're like, yeah, it's on OLN network. They're like, what?
Where's your game on Versus? Hey, what?
She wants to catch a game while you're on the road? No chance. JR, with the time you've had away from the game a little bit now, and you're doing great things with the Blackhawks, and I love how they brought all you beauties in there with Chelly and the boys, you've been able to focus on some golf. And we've had this nice little tour, buddy, and I have to thank you for getting me.
I think I owe you. I think I owe you some money too, don't I?
You might. I snuck you out on the last day.
Not like him not to collect before he leaves. Where were you going?
I was rushing to the airport.
You weren't catching me, and you weren't catching me before I was off the green and in the car, and I was done.
So let's stay to end. So listen, this Pro Rivals Open, man, is amazing. Schmaltzy's done a good job. You've done a great job with the hockey guys, getting good hockey guys involved. But how good is it to be part of something, that they're trying to grow and sell the TV and all the personalities that are involved? And just how good is it to get out there and compete? And then what else are you listening to on that? You come up to the driving range, you got your AirPod in. What kind of tunes are you getting ready for that first tee shot?
Yeah,
because you're focused.
Yeah, that's funny because I was wondering when I was hitting balls on the range with you standing behind me if you were either marveling at my ball flight or if you were wondering what I was listening to, right? First of all, I will say I listen to Rufus Du Sol. I'm a huge Rufus Du Sol guy. I am a absolute Rufus Du Sol junkie. I just bought tickets to Petco down here for August. I cannot wait to go. I will go over to Tomorrowland sometime and do my EDM. Just blow out with my wife one day. I love the EDM, so That's what I was listening to. Babe, that's right. So I'm going after it hard. I'm a 56-year-old. I'm a 56-year-old EDM junkie. So that's it. Um, But the Pro Cup, buddy, is for me probably one of the most exciting things that I have going on in my life right now, outside of my personal life. To be able to get on a golf course and play the game that I love and bring that competitive edge back, like we were sitting there. How excited were we to go out there and tee off and compete? And I know you talked to me before. It's like, JR, you got to get me into that Pro Cup. It's great, and you've represented awesome. I mean, you did clip me by one or 2 points that last day. I made par. You probably made birdie on 18, you fucker. But it's that. But it's that. It's that again. It's that competitiveness along with the brotherhood, right? We get together with all the guys. You get to see each other. It's a great 4 days of dinners, of conversation, hanging around the locker room. Those locker rooms that they put together for us, the amenities. The Pro Cup is giving us a league that we can celebrate, that we can stand behind, that we can promote, and we can compete. And it's only going to get bigger. So my hat's off to Tim Wilburn and Smoltzy and everybody for putting that together. And I can't wait to see you in West Palm for the next one.
Yeah, buddy.
I saw a great clip last week. And I don't know, some baseball
Marty
player.
Fifth. Marty,
he's like,
hit it off. Yeah.
We better hurry up and get in there before all the hockey players drink all the booze. And then I think it was you and Holly in a cart. And you're like, well, we didn't win, but I could tell you what, no one drank more than us, boys. I say that.
That was me. That was me and Holly.
Yeah.
That was me and Holly.
JR, every member guest I lose, I'm like, no one drank more than us, though, boys. I can tell you that right now.
And listen, there's no way that there's going to be a tournament where you do not notice the hockey guy, whether it's in one aspect of the tournament or another. So they always make an impression.
JR, last one for me, buddy. I'm going to turn over to Swiss for his last one. Buddy, when you got in the Hockey Hall of Fame, man, like, yeah, it took too long, and just your emotion and everything about it just really blew me away, man. And like, it must have been tough for you waiting that long, and just how great was that call? I got to ask you because we got you here. Like, it just, you could see how, I don't know if it was relieved, happy. It was awesome to see the emotion come out in you, bro.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. And to tell you the truth, I'm really happy that it hit me and the emotion was as strong as it did when I got the call. Because I will tell you, after 12 years of waiting, I'd kind of pretty much put it out of my thought process. I said, it's never going to happen. I'm going to be the Pete Rose of hockey, and screw them. That's just the attitude that I had. It wasn't until, that I did really take a really strong look at my life and the way I was living it, the things I was doing, the people I was surrounding myself with, the attitude that I was throwing. It was not the right lifestyle I wanted to be living. And I changed it all. And I literally changed my dynamics in my head, my actions, the way that I looked at life, the way that I viewed my, being a husband, being a father, being a friend. And things started happening for me. And then literally 3 months after this kind of revelation, the hall calls me, right? I get a call from the hall. It's like, and I'm sitting in the Starbucks line with a missed call from 416 area code, and I call it back, and it's like, hello, welcome to the NHL Hall of Fame. Press 1 for tours, press 2 for tickets. I'm like, what's going on? And literally being in a state of speechlessness. I couldn't speak. And, I have Lanny McDonald say, JR, you're never at a loss for words. Well, that's how big that call was, that for me to have a loss for words. My gratitude and my thankfulness and my how much I respect that nod was awesome. And it gave me the opportunity to really kind of put a lot of things to rest in my life, to make amends with a lot of people that I needed to make amends with, to make a vow to the world, about the person I was and the person that I want to be. And I look at that now today, and it's very, very special. It's one of the most special things. I feel different, Obi. Yeah. I swear I just feel I feel different walking into the United Center. I feel different walking into Crypto.com Arena last night in LA. It's a different aura. I have to represent a group of guys that are in a hall that are their face plates up on the wall that you represent now, and I take that very seriously. And I'm very thankful and grateful that I've had this opportunity and that I can that it's making me a better person, and I'm very appreciative of that.
You gave me goosebumps, JR. You gave me goosebumps. Swishy, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, that's an incredible story, JR. I love it, brother. On a less serious note, when you're going back to Chicago and you're going to see your boy Chelly and you're hanging out in the summer, is there one spot that you love to have dinner at? I spent a bunch of time in Chicago as a kid, and I still do with my sister living there. Do you have one spot in Chicago? Not to put you on the spot, but I was curious where JR is going for dinner. If you're sly,
well, there's only one dinner spot really, but you'll see Chelly and I at most of the time, and that's Chicago Cut. Right, Chicago Cut is the big steakhouse. They treat us very, very well. You always got to go over to Gibson's Steakhouse for a good steak. You got to go to the restaurant world in Chicago is growing. But if you just want to have a great pizza, it's Aurelio's Pizza is the best pizza in town. It's the Pope's favorite pizza. It's one that I help. That's one of my favorites. But if you're in Chicago, you probably want to see one of us. You got to see us in Chicago Cut.
JR, man, you're a legend. We can do that. Like you were a legend before this, and now that I know you're pumping Rufus to Soul on the range, bro, you're fucking, dude. They're playing the Form in LA after saying we might have to get you to come up. We'll send the Sprinter van for you. You jump in, pick us up. We go to Rufus at the Form, maybe, huh?
Hey, to quote a very famous Rufus the Soul song that is going to say exactly how I felt about this show. There's no place I'd rather be. Well, right here with you guys.
All set, brother.
JR, man, I love you. I've always respected you. All three of us have. You're great for the game when you played. You still are. Never forget that, brother. And let's tee it up and let's hang out a bit more. I didn't know you were living in Cali. I thought you were in the desert, my man.
Hey, I'm close.
All right.
I'm close. We need to get together more, okay, boys?
100%, JR. I appreciate you, brother. Fellas, welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up dog, Swissy, swish. Thank you to, man, I love JR. I've always loved JR. I got buckled with him for a week straight. I saw him out every night at the roll. I didn't even have to, I got his number. I didn't have to text him because I knew I was going to see him. But up dog, what a question. Rufus to Soul on the driving range. I mean, fella. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I was blown away. It was a great interview.
I knew he's got something going because he's vibing. So he's hitting pure 7 irons, like, not a shot out of place, not a hair out of place.
No, I bet.
He's just sharp looking guy on the track. And then he walks over to the putting green and same thing. He's got the fucking AirPods in. I'm like, what is this guy?
Sense it.
Yeah. He sense greatness, at least trying to be great before the tee shot, which is important in golf. It's all about how you feel. Which brings him back, to his playing days. Like he said, he gained his confidence at a high school, playing in Chicago at a young age, surrounding himself with good people and a true character and a true, pioneer of the game. Like a guy that, we're witnessing these young players now speak their minds and have, style and good flow. And it's all because of guys like that. And to hear, when he said the boys called him from Air Force One,
Air Force Two,
it's only fitting that these guys are reminded that they were legends. They are legends. Yeah. And it's great to get to see him on a golf course doing his thing because he's fucking legend to me.
Yeah, and just before I turn it to Swishy, I mean, I compare it to, we've got lucky enough to know Gretz and Mass Moose since we started this podcast, right? And anytime I'm around either one of those guys, especially Gretz, but Moose too, like you're just the aura of them and you look at them like, thanks, man. Like what you guys did for us Canadians. And Swishy, you're good, a American born player like JR and Big Walt and Holly and Chelly. They did that.
Yeah, he was a part of that rock star crew, man. That was, playing in World Cups. They were playing in Olympics and, he did get the short end of the stick at NBC Sports. I mean, that's, no secret at this point. I just think for me, boys, like growing up, watching him on TV and just as real and raw and just speaking his mind, like that's when I really loved just the broadcasting side of things of hockey because he would just say whatever he wanted. It was his opinion. Maybe you didn't always agree with it, but generally it was pretty much spot on. And I just think, I don't know, it didn't really sound like he maybe wanted to jump back into that circuit, but to me, Obi, He's like one of those guys that could be like John Gruden. You know, just how electric he is with the content and just his speaking his mind and going around, and he has that just aura to him where, I mean, I love listening. I could have talked to him for 3 hours on this podcast. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's welcome here anytime. And now that I know I honestly I assumed he lived in Phoenix. I didn't even know he's down. We got to go down and play Del Mar with him. It's supposed to be a beautiful track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, though, and I love what Gruden's doing. But yeah, JR, man, I used to love watching him on NBC. Like,
yeah, we're playing him in video games.
Yeah.
Like 97 in a video game. I think he, other than Gretz, he's the only guy that like EA Sports was allowed to tuck the jersey in, and every wraparound with JR from the one side was just an automatic goal.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Great job by you guys, as always. Swishy Up Dogs. Love snapping around with you. Thank you to Hall Pass Media, Max the Ice Pick Pickup, Kyle Casey Conway. That was Missin Curfew.
Fellas.